Right, moving on. Thousands of civilians poured out of Eastern Ghouta after a month-long bombardment brought by the Syrian regime closer to recapturing the devastated rebel enclave outside Damascus. A war monitor calls it the largest displacement since government troops launched their assault on the rebel enclave. Nearly 20,000 civilians have fled the Syrian town of Hamouria and its surrounding areas in the rebel enclave of Eastern Ghouta for government-controlled territory.
وعايشين بحصار وجوع والله ايامات 3 ايام ما بناكل 3 ايام ما بناكل زيت نبل ما في لا اكل ولا شرب لا شيء.
Defying expectations and calls to step down, Syria's President Bashar al-Assad is strengthening his grip on power as the conflict enters its 8th year. His troops advanced in a ferocious assault on Ghouta, once the opposition's main bastion on the outskirts of the capital Damascus. A war monitor says regime forces now control 70% of the area, splitting the remaining rebel territory into 3 shrinking pockets. After a fierce air and ground assault, regime forces on Thursday captured Hamouria town in an isolated southern part of Ghouta. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a Britain-based organization, says rebels later launched a counter-attack and regained parts of the town, but killing 14 regime fighters in the process. All right, joining me from Amman is my colleague Daniele Pagani. Good evening, Daniele. What's the situation like in Ghouta as we speak?
Yes, indeed, this is good news. Thousands of civilians were able to abandon the war-torn areas of Eastern Ghouta, specifically the city of Hamouria, where they were trapped. Reportedly, they were also kept there by some of the anti-Assad armed Islamists fighting against the Syrian army. But despite this, the problem is that for many of the hundreds of thousands of civilians, the situation is not the same, and they are still trapped. They cannot abandon their houses. Some of them do not want to flee, and the battle keeps raging. In fact, the Syrian army did not stop advancing, and the rebels did not stop retaliating. As we speak right now, there are airstrikes and continuous shelling against the rebel positions inside Eastern Ghouta, and obviously civilians are once again caught in the crossfire, and this also prevents humanitarian convoys of safely entering the residency areas, the cities inside Eastern Ghouta.
Right, on that note, Daniel, thank you so much for joining me from Amman.